Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. I hope you all enjoyed the casts yesterday, guys, especially the Worldwide People's Championship over 2000 bracket match between Luzon and Crazed. If you haven't watched that yet, you might want to cover your ears, because I'm about to launch a spoiler into the ether. Guys, the score wasn't quite as quoted in that video. There was an unregistered desync at the end of the first game. It was reported as a tie. Actually, Crazed won that first game. It was not quite portraying what happened. The Crazed commander was wandering past a power plant. In the replay, the power plant blows up, sheds a few thousand HP off him, and it's enough to make his comm go pop when Luzon goes pop, but that didn't actually happen. Crazed apparently had a good chunky 4000 HP on his commander at the end of the game, so he was sitting pretty and grabbed that first win. Didn't change, of course, the overall result, but anyway, we won't go into all that if you haven't seen it. And those of you who had your fingers in your ears, you can now take them out. Of course, you can't hear that, but that hopefully doesn't mean you're going to have them on for the whole cast. Moving on, today's game is going to be a custom 1v1, and it's going to be using Diamond mod. How very unusual and exotic and exciting. I have no aversion, guys, to Diamond mods or Black Ops or Nomads, but no one sends me any replays. I get people asking me all the time, cast some games, well, send me some freaking replays, and that goes for all types of games, guys. Conventional replays, ladder matches, send them to me, give them to me. For those of you that don't know how to do it, you can just send me the number, but it's really, really helpful if you host it on Mediafire or Dropbox and send me the link, because then I get the replay, it's all there. I don't just have to go and look it up and do it later, which sometimes I forget, and then people say, have you watched my replay and you like it, yada yada, and I say, no, I forgot, and then they get offended, and then I say something about their mum, and moving on, as I say, Diamond mod today, and it's going to take place on Lost Paradise. Woohoo! And if I listen very carefully, I think I can hear the players gating in. So let's go to the game zone and see how they're going to get on. I love a little bit of Lost Paradise. Let's take a look at the players. And immediately Washi says, oh, Aeon. That sounds like a misclick, and like he didn't actually mean to pick Aeon. But he's going Aeon, and he's going lime green. He's over here on the right-hand side, and he's also going first land. Going to get a couple of P-gens in place. Going to go second air in there as well. So straight off the bat, going for a bit of a mix. And then down here, his opponent on the left-hand side is Duris. He's rocking the breast cancer awareness pink, and he's also going UEF. Grab those P-gens, grab those mexes. All that jazz. Diamond mod, what is it? Who is it? What's the difference? Essentially, I don't really know. It's got a, I think, I mean, and feel free to slam me, guys, in the comment section below, which you surely will. I think it scales off 3599 in terms of balance, and then it's made its own balance changes. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to put out any false info, guys, so if that isn't the case, do feel free to correct me, but I think that's what how it goes. And what other differences have we got? Well, we've also got the importance of support commanders. So if the game goes into experimental phase, you can't build that tech without the quantum gateways and then the support commanders, which I like. It's, you know, forces players to use all facets of the game, which is nice. And I think that was also the same in Black Ops as well. Making a lot of assumptions here and assertions. could be very wrong, and I could be looking like a bit of a buffoon. But there'll be some clever nonce in there somewhere who'll go, actually, Gyle, it's like this. And I'll have to go, okay, fine. Actually, no, I'll just ignore it, as I usually do. But over here on the right-hand side, you can see Washi queued up a whole bunch of air factories there and then cancelled it. Maybe he's doing a little bit of SimCity, and it wasn't quite lined up the way he wanted to. Anyway, going for the adjacency bonus on at least one of those factories. Going to get a couple of extra P-gens in there as well. One air factory already online and already producing a transport out of there. Brainwashed asking if his opponent's already played this. I'm wondering if he's talking about the new Diamond mod. There must have been a new patch on it, some new changes. But and also mentioning Volt, if I didn't mention it earlier, it was Volt who sent this replay into me, so thank you to him. And that's of course not a spoiler since he's not actually playing. But first aircraft from Duris getting over Washi's base now. He's going to have a little bit of a scout. It's going to give him some nice intel. And look at that factory spam going down on the left-hand side of Washi's base. All land factories going to get that spam rocking nice and early. And ACU out to the left-hand side for Duris. He's going to try and lock down this side with his commander. I expect then his spam is going to be going to the right. That seems to be what the order of the day is matching up to be. Sending his units down there, going to try and use the army to anchor that side down and then build fortifications up here with his comm. All very standard. Both players going for the rear section at the same time as well. A few engineers back there from Washi already. I'm assuming that was from the transport. More engineers being airlifted about the map as well. Where's that going? So that's going up here for more stuff to be built. Where is Washi's ACU? So Washi actually hasn't moved his ACU out anywhere. In fact, his ACU's not doing anything. He's having some chill time in the center of the base. More transports being built along with interceptors. So not going for any immediate harassment. He's going to focus on expansion for the moment. However, it does look like we've got some bombers under construction at Duris's base. First one rolling. Oh, actually, not the first one. There's a couple rolled off the pad now. Could go an NG hunting. See what's going to happen there. But factory queued up down here for Duris. Engineers busy grabbing all of the mexes. Both players seeming to get most of their stuff around about the same time. Actually, there's a few mass points behind here for Washi. A lot of reclaim on this map. I never realized how much reclaim is sitting in this rear base section. And Washi getting the plateaus. I like this maneuver. Seen in some of the other casts how nice and helpful they can be, especially if you can get some kind of T2 going on up here and start shoving down some static artillery. That can cause all kinds of problems. Few strikers rolling past from Duris. We're getting the first few phases of combat kicking in finally after 7 minutes. That is a feature of Lost Paradise, of course, in a 1v1, though it is that large. Very poor place to park there for Washi. That's definitely a double yellow line. All of those interceptors are going to go down for no kills, I think. And the skies are that much more safer now for Duris's bombers, which are heading over to the right hand side, looking like they're going to go for these units on the edge, taking out all three in one pass. Very nice work indeed. There's a couple of clumped NGs here that Duris could go for. That would be rather handy. He's leading with one bomber over the top. First of all, he's got a couple landed back here still. He could have sent them in one after another, but Washi is onto it. He's managed to pop a couple of them on the ground with his own interceptor. Still one bomber in the middle. Beautiful target selection there, taking out a good 2 or 3 units in that clumped mess there. Duris making a bit of a move up through the middle. Washi not currently able to lock that down as yet. Still got 1 or 2 units kicking about on his side of the map. It's amazing these units can't kind of get up here into this mountain range. I don't think they can make it right the way over, though. It is relatively impassable, that middle section. But Washi rather struggling at the moment. Lots of T1 from Duris' side of the map pouring onto his half. Strikers catching up there with the Auroras and wreaking havoc amongst them. Pound dealing very good damage indeed. There is an eruptor here for Washi. Another one going down as well. Just to cut off that avenue, but he really needs to work on locking down this aperture down here. Taking a look at how they're actually doing. Washi seems to be ahead on the immediacy of Eco at the moment. Duris sitting on... Let's just see what he's got here. Couple of T2 factories up there at the front, and plenty of, so about 9 T1 factories. It's a lot of build power right there, and it's a lot more than Washi. And Washi hasn't made that transition to T2 as yet. Can't see any upgrades going on either. So duris quite a long way ahead in terms of tech in this game. You can see mongoose and pillars rolling off the conveyor belt already, coming down here to this aperture. It's quite a sensible location considering it seems to be the weakest point at the moment on the map for Washi. Both players ignoring Navy altogether, and that's kind of a feature of this map, despite it being surrounded by water and a total island, or at least the majority of it's a total island. The relief of the land is such that you can't really hope to cause any serious damage with naval forces. It's also quite a large map, so there's plenty of places to hide inland. So mouse failing slightly there. That probably wasn't the best bit of camera work, but you get the idea. Spectres now though for Washi, so he's made the transition to T2 air. He's gone a slightly different way with his upgrades. Nice little group of units though that duris had. Shield and all. Pillars though, all well and good, but without any real air defense they're going to get knocked out. But in comes an air wing from duris. Lots of interceptors in that mix. Spectre left after the first couple of passes. She pulls it out to the side, but the work is done. That land spam has been cleared up from duris, and now Washi seems to have gained ground on this top section here. duris is no longer pushing in that direction. He's back here with his commander. He's working on mechs upgrades, which is a good thing too, because he seems to be lagging pretty significantly in terms of eco. Seems to be around 160 odd for Brainwashed to 120 odd for duris. So Washi definitely ahead in this one so far on eco, and that's not down to any kind of map control factors either. That is pure upgrades working there. Washi having pushed down the right hand side, probably not going to make any more ground here. He's going to run into superior numbers. Has got an asylum shield there which will afford him some protection, but it's all looking like T1 in this mix. Auroras and fervors and spirits only. It's not going to work too well against mongoose and pillars. I think it's going to be a easy win there for duris, but of course more units piling up all the time back here for Washi. And lots of spectres now on the field for Washi, and we're seeing some swift winds out as well at T2 fighters for Aeon. So that will afford him some nice protection, but look out, duris has made the transition straight to T3, so he has missed out T1 altogether. Looks like he's going for ASFs right on off the bat, so he's going to try and counter Washi's switch up to T2. As predicted, duris regains control of this portion of the map down here. Swift winds circling overhead. Not going to be able to hold on to air superiority for very long. In come the ASFs, the Wasps, and that will be Washi's first little sign that duris has made that transition. The question is he going to respond straight off the bat? Still rocking T2 air on that factory, not currently upgrading anymore. Hasn't got any more air factories. We've got one air factory back here that's still at T1 and currently redundant. duris queuing up now in front of Washi's forward base on the right hand side. We've got T3 land down here as well for Washi, and that's already producing harbingers. That's going to be a nice turnaround, and it couldn't be better timed as well as these units start pouring in from duris. You can see the difference that Diamond Mod makes, how much larger the shield is there on the harbinger. One of many little changes that this mod deploys. That will discourage duris from pushing any further. He doesn't want to lose unnecessary amounts of units. If I were him, though, I'd probably sacrifice all that just to kill that build capacity to slow up the production of these harbingers. It's not going to be too difficult for him to build more units, although he's looking quite thin on the ground. He's not producing as many units as he was before. Currently upgrading his T2 factory at the front here to T3 in response to Washi's recent transition. He's got another T2 there as well. Of course, casting so many NG-mod games recently, you forget how much more expensive each of those upgrades will be in this regular style of SOPCOM. I say, looking forward to the NG-mod implementations. I don't have any news on when that may be. They're still tweaking here and there. Certainly, as far as I'm concerned, needs some cosmetic adjustments on the other HQs. The Cybran one seem to be relatively finished, but or at least the Cybran land factory seems to be relatively finished, although I don't too keen on the transition of that factory. Just sort of those big spiky things just kind of pop out, they don't move, whereas you look at the transitions of other factories upgrading in SOPCOM, they always evolve as they're building. That might be a little bit of a tall order, but now this is looking like a pretty formidable force up here at the top. 3 harbs in the mix, another one coming up from behind. We've got on the ground here, we've got a few triads, we've got a few plasma cannons. It's quite a well hunkered down little area duris had, and we've got strap bombers coming in as well, a couple of ambassadors, so duris really mixing things up here. That's nice to see. Strap bombers playing a pretty key role already. But down here, Washi is having another little probe looking for an entry point, and he's definitely got the upper hand in terms of units down here. These units are pulled back. Washi can then push with these. However, it's all T1 in this little bunch in this middle aperture, so you're not going to get a huge amount done. Duris looking like he's folding a little bit here down on the bottom, but in come the ambassadors to help clean this up. A couple of strap bombs away, one harbinger down, another one survives momentarily on about 12 HP. He's going to get a few more, whatever it is, plasma bursts away before it eventually goes down, but ambassador's doing a great job here for duris, helping to swing the ballast. There's actually quite a lot of them on the field already. It's about 4 or 5 in the immediate vicinity. Got a little drop that's happened around the back as well from Washi. Washi's still looking like he's slowly gaining map control bit by bit. That ambassador is incredibly lucky if he's going to get away on that. 800 odd hit points left, just pulling it out of there before Washi gets in another pass. And now the ambassadors move to the top edge of the field again, try and discourage Washi from attacking any more up here. But he's got a Serenity in here, which is nice to see. Going to try and range this base a little bit, but I don't think he's going to get too much done up there. Those strap bombs are going to whittle those forces down. Down goes the Serenity, so no more rangy for you. What's going on in Washi's main base? Not a lot. Lots of T3 power going down. How's it going on the plane front? He's floating a large amount of mass. He's doing okay for power, so he's preparing for the next phase. How's Duris doing? Duris is much closer to the bread line on power, and he's used all of his mass as well. So this could be a little bit dangerous potentially for Duris. Washi's stockpiled a little bit of resources, and he's looking okay. He's holding. Oh, but a large bunch of build capacity getting snagged there by that ambassador. Very nice bomb, and a very nice little bit of micro as well, getting 2 bombs away in close succession. Takes out a Mex. Finally, that ambassador will go down, and another one floating around the edge, somehow going to get away with it. the level of intel is very poor indeed for these guys. It's always tough at this level to get comprehensive intel. Got a little bit of engagement brewing down here in the middle aperture. Lots of pillars, lots of parashields. We've got some Percivals in the mix now, so that'll help Duris counter those harbs very nicely. He's not going to go plowing into these. He's going to pick them off at range first, use the advantage of those parashields. But as soon as I said, he starts having power issues. I don't know what's causing that exactly, but those parashields blink on and off, and he needs to get another fusion up. He may have been rush building a fusion. In fact, he was. So that has at least sorted that out for the moment. A standoff happening down here. Those Percys just take pot shots at the front line of troops, but now the body of robots for Washi going to withdraw slightly. And Duris taking a transport somewhere. Are those engineers? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's going on rather a large mission. That's being taken right round the top of the map. He's going for a drop in the rear base, and Washi's got quite a few mexes in here. What have we got? So we've got 7 T2 mass extractors and a T1 up there, so it's looking a little bit vulnerable. I don't know if he's got enough troops to deal with it. Has he got any Spectres? He had a few earlier on, but that could allow him to deal with it nice and quickly. But he's got a lot of fervors running around. If only he'd had some Auroras in the mix. He has got a couple, actually. He's got enough down here to defend. There's only one T2? Yeah, one T2 transport Starlifter full of units. Looks like all T1. So I don't think that's under too much threat. Large group of ASFs protecting that lone ambassador there. Washi also has quite a few himself, but in comes that Starlifter. Where is the actual drop-off location? There it is. Down they go. They look to be mostly strikers, but there's a few Lobos in there as well. But oh, clumped together, fervor fire, just annihilating them. Down they go. No chance for any real movement there. Duris obviously counting on being a little less well defended. Large air engagement now kicking off on the bottom edge of the island. Washi going after that ambassador, rightly so, but the question is how many ASFs is he losing in the process? Ambassador still rocking around 3,600 HP. Washi for the moment withdraws, and more strap bombs coming in as well. It's these large bodies of troops that Duris is concerned about. That's what he's going for. It's nice to see people regularly using strap bombers these days for things other than snipes. It can be such an effective tool against large bodies of troops, and it's going to be even more effective in NG mod as the level of spam continues through the tech phases. Those clumped up units, strap bombers will be useful once again, which is always nice to see, I think. But this base has been pulverized by Washi Serenities. Look how many he's got. Tons of them up here. 9 T3 mobile arties. No wonder those shields have capitulated under all that firepower. That is the end of this little position here, and bit by bit Duris seems to be crumbling a little. He's way behind on eco, on the upgrades. We'll wait for the reclaim if it ever stops from Washi. I'm not sure it does. 380 something mass. Unreal against 214. 19,000 reclaim for Duris. So Duris is doing better on the reclaim. 17,000 for Washi, but that 2,000 mass is nothing compared to the lack of eco he's got to his opponent. Still, the standoff continues, though nasty amounts of Percivals in that mix. Harbs in there as well, but Duris seems to have the advantage in this central aperture. really wants to think about pushing forward, but now we're seeing some shockers out for Washi, the Aeon Strat Bombers. So he's responding in kind. Still the Serenity Fire going down over here. Lots of Titans on the ground, just swallowing up all that fire. Now a large push up through the middle. Shockers comes in over the top, bombs away, mainly impacting on those parashields, doing enough damage to make duris stop and think. Another round of bombs coming in. duris has to move back once again. It's a very static game, this. The lines are drawn and not a lot of movement, but a lot of ambassador fire going down at the top. And once again, this army up here for Washi getting brutalized by Strat Bomber fire. Washi comes in with a bunch of ASFs to try and thin out those strats. Washi's ASFs clumped a lot more. I think he's probably potentially getting the better of this fight. It's kind of hard to say at the moment. So simultaneously, two different fights going on around the map. Units from duris pushing southeast from this upper section. I wonder if he's going to yield. He's going to try and defend down here. He's going to shove all these units into an attack on this side. That might be quite interesting thing to see. Lots of harbs in there for Washi, and still not a single shipyard on the map, because it's just not effective enough on this map. You see that people go Navy every now and again, but it doesn't really consistently win games for you. It might make more sense in a team game where you have people in different starting locations. You can bombard them more easily, but it really is all about the land and the air as far as I can tell. And nice little work here with some of these stingers from duris going around popping some of those extra mass points, but you can see we've got a quantum gateway online for Washi and a GC 50% done already. So that could be problems. How well defended are we in the main base? That is the question. Seeing a great deal of Ravagers at the moment, and no quantum gateway either, so we'll not be seeing any fat boys in the immediate future from duris. See nice work there from Washi, dropping down a Serenity on each of these plateaus. Going to give him really good range. What he's actually firing at. Groups of units down there going after that radar installation, I think. Lots of Strat Bombers on the field, and it's getting to that time when duris needs to potentially think seriously about some kind of snipe, I think. I think this is going downhill far too fast, and look at the difference in eco. That is insane. What's he on? He's on 562 Washi. That is absolutely insane. So we're talking about double eco for Washi. There's no real way back from that. He has to try and think about a snipe. It's the only way out of this. Just needs to plow everything he can into Strat Bomber production. And he needs to do it ASAP, because there is a GC knocking on his door. There goes down the big mega beam of death going after those Percivals. Percy's on the move, retreating out of it in the face of those Harbingers and that Colossus. That's a nasty sight. In come the Strats to try and take out the Colossus. But Washi is ready with some air cover, and they are going to get wasted. Down to around 4 or 5 strats left. Another round of bombs coming in. Takes the Colossus down to around 71,000 HP. But still it's on the march, popping Percy's as he goes. One Ravager in place. Isn't going to last too long to get too much done, I don't think. Washi still hovering overhead with his Air Force. Large air engagement going on top of this battle. We've got another GC under construction, another GC finished, in fact. Still those strap bombers focusing on that GC. Another group of Percivals underneath. Parashields, it's not going to be enough. GC rocking about 45% of its HP now. It's looking like duris has switched up full time to strap bomber production. I'm not 100% certain that duris knew how far behind he was. He saw the state of the map. He saw the fact that it was around, he had around 45% of the control. Didn't realize how much ecoing Washi had been doing. GC for the moment seems pretty unstoppable. What have we got in the main base? Do we have any Ravagers in place yet? Is the question. Still lots of strap bombers doing their work. That green blob is getting closer all the time. A few spearheads in the mix here. The T3 mobile missile platform is going to go down. That'll help deplete some of these shields a little bit. So much overlapping shieldage with the extended range on the Harbingers in Diamond Mod. It does make them quite beefy. That GC down to under 20,000 HP. Could survive this. It's going to be close. 4,000, 1,000. Down it goes, I think. Oh, 700 HP. Ah, there it goes. Question is, how far behind is the second Colossus? Not so far, and that's going to get a lot closer before any damage is put on it, because of all the focus going on up here at the top and the brow of this hill. Percival's doing their work. Now duris needs to get some engineers on that wreck ASAP and start producing as much firepower as he can. It's going all out Percival and all out strap bomber at the moment, but look at this, it's broken through on the top. Washi is coming for him in a big way, and all avenues are collapsing simultaneously. Even getting in around the back, duris is trying to clear these little groups of T1 going around for these rear mass points. He's got some engineers to that wreck, needs to start reclaiming. Is he actually spending his mass? Yes, he is. This is build capacity looking, that's the question. He seems to have a slight advantage in numbers in terms of ASFs, but it's a shame he doesn't have a horde of broadswords to go with it. A whole bunch of T3 gunships would go down a treat right about now. Now Washi pulling up just short of marching into the main base. Few Harbingers in range of some of these Percivals. They're going to return some fire. More of a containment strategy at the moment. We've got the Serenities in place. They can start bombarding that base now. I think they're covered as well by the brow of the hill. I don't think the Percivals can get to them without advancing forward. But that GC is making basefall now as we speak, as he marches up the brow of this hill, swats one Percival in his way in this relentless march towards duris's demise. Duris back here in the middle of his base. He's got an upgraded shield on his commander, but it's not going to save him from a GC. These Ravagers might, if he can get enough of them up in time. It's the only real variable. And he went from 50-50 map control to Washi versus duris's base in the space of about 5 or 10 minutes. We're past the 40-minute mark in this game. GC marching up the hill now. This is going to be crucial about how he can deal with this. Strap bombers now focusing in on him in a big way. He's down to around 70,000 HP and falling. Interceptors, sorry, ASFs coming in from Washi to try and thin out these strats. Colossus down to around 43,000 HP, dropping it down to -1 so we can seal this, but there's a lot of build capacity that he can chew on now to get some veterancy up, and this could be a really painful moment for duris. They need to finish him off ASAP, this Colossus, before he chows down on all these engineers and gets yet more veterancy, more HP back. He's swatting them one at a time, 27,000 HP. Ravagers at the back. I'm not sure they're even in range of that Colossus. They don't seem to be firing on him for the moment. 100 odd kills, 47,000 HP still on that Colossus. Onward he marches. Now the Ravagers open up. See the HP just being shed there as they collide with the Colossus's superstructure. Forward he goes. He's going to take down that fusion reactor, and that explosion is going to take out a whole bunch of engineers. 136 kills on that Colossus, 22,000 HP. Washi not advancing any further forward. He wants to do as much damage as he can. Well into a red now, though. 10,000 HP, but a rank up at the worst possible time for duris. Takes him back up to 40,000 HP. duris advancing with his commander. Must know it's all down now. Probably coming in to throw a couple of overcharges into the mix. Not sure it's going to help you. There goes one. Takes off a huge chunk, in fact. It might just finish off the Colossus. 4,000 HP left. Another one. Another rank up. Unbelievable. Washi, what are you doing to this guy? 15,000 HP, but 200 kills on that Colossus. Surely duris can finish him off. Down he goes, but he's got no base left. He's got no map control. He's got virtually nothing. And Washi has surely done enough damage there. It's pulling out with a few units down the hill. duris going to get reclaiming that wreck with his commander, but that must be it. He throws out the GG. It certainly is. Washi sends out his own. We'll just have to wait for a surrender or something. There he goes, a control K from duris. Knew he was roundly beaten there by Washi. Very well played from both players there, very enjoyable. Quite a static game though. It's what's fun to watch though about Subcom, the diversity in play. So situational, map dependent, race dependent, mod dependent. All very good and fun to watch. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. I certainly did. As always, more to come from me in the future. In the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle signing out.